Yesterday afternoon, a devastating tornado struck Israel with a ferocity rarely seen in the region, leaving behind a trail of destruction that will be remembered for generations. The storm, with wind speeds reaching nearly 300 km/h, ripped through one of the nation's major cities in a matter of minutes, flattening thousands of buildings, crippling infrastructure, and injuring more than 18,000 people. This natural disaster came just days after heightened tensions in Gaza, putting the country under simultaneous pressures from both political and environmental crises. The sheer scale of the event has shocked citizens and experts alike, raising urgent questions about preparedness, resilience, and the ability to respond to overlapping disasters. From the outside, the destruction is almost incomprehensible. Streets that were once alive with activity now resemble war zones, with piles of debris replacing homes, shops, and schools. Steel beams have twisted into grotesque shapes, and concrete walls have collapsed into heaps of rubble. Cars were hurled across intersections, their frames crushed and glass shattered. Bridges and roadways lie in ruin, making access to many areas nearly impossible for emergency crews. Satellite images show an enormous swath of devastation stretching over 50 kilometers, the once thriving cityscape now scarred by the unmistakable path of the tornado's fury. The power of the winds was so intense that entire rooftops were lifted from buildings and carried for kilometers before crashing down into neighborhoods far from their original locations. Inside the few structures left standing, the situation is equally grim. Rooms are unrecognizable, their contents strewn across the floors or entirely missing. Walls are cracked or have collapsed, windows are blown out, and ceilings have caved in. Water damage from ruptured pipes and heavy rain has compounded the destruction, leaving interiors soaked and unstable. Many survivors are navigating through dangerous debris to salvage whatever personal belongings they can, while rescue workers risk their lives to locate those still trapped under the wreckage. Even in the relative safety of basements and storm shelters, people describe the deafening roar of the tornado as sounding like a freight train rushing directly overhead, accompanied by the terrifying vibrations of the ground shaking beneath them. The raw performance of this tornado ranks among the most destructive weather events in Israel's recorded history. Meteorologists estimate that it maintained a near-constant speed of 300 km/h as it tore through the city, an extraordinary force capable of obliterating well-built structures in seconds. The tornado's base spanned nearly 2 kilometers wide, giving it the capacity to engulf entire districts at once. In less than 15 minutes, it transformed bustling commercial hubs into ghostly expanses of wreckage. The storm's reach was indiscriminate, leveling residential neighborhoods, industrial zones, and agricultural land alike. Power grids failed as thousands of poles were snapped like twigs, plunging millions into darkness. Communication networks collapsed under the strain, isolating communities and delaying emergency responses. Roads were blocked by overturned trucks, uprooted trees, and collapsed overpasses, further complicating rescue efforts. Safety measures, though in place, faced their toughest test. Tornado sirens blared in the minutes before impact, and emergency alerts were sent to mobile phones across the region, urging people to take cover. In areas where residents were able to reach reinforced shelters or basements, these systems saved countless lives. Hospitals equipped with backup generators continued to operate despite losing power, treating the influx of thousands of injured victims with remarkable efficiency under the circumstances. However, the sheer intensity of this tornado overwhelmed even the best prepared facilities. Many public buildings and homes, built to withstand less extreme conditions, failed under the relentless wind pressure. This disaster has underscored the urgent need to strengthen building codes and invest in more resilient infrastructure that can endure the increasingly severe weather patterns emerging in recent years. Several factors make this disaster stand out as a historically unique event. Tornadoes of this magnitude are rare in Israel, with most past storms being far weaker and shorter-lived. The coincidence of such a massive natural disaster occurring just days after military tensions in Gaza has created a multifaceted crisis unlike anything the nation has faced before. The estimated financial toll, 1.000 trillion rupiah, equivalent to roughly 800 trillion in other major currencies, places it among the costliest natural disasters in the country's history. The global response has been swift, with numerous nations expressing solidarity and pledging humanitarian aid. Yet the complexity of the situation, combined with the scale of destruction, means recovery will be slow and demanding. The financial implications of this disaster are staggering. Beyond the immediate costs of clearing debris and restoring basic services, there will be long-term expenses related to rebuilding housing, repairing critical infrastructure, and supporting displaced populations. The damage to roads, power plants, schools, and hospitals alone could take years to fully address. Businesses have been forced to shut down indefinitely, leading to economic losses that ripple far beyond the disaster zone.